Troup County Schools.
A place where you can learn and grow.
A place where teachers care.
A place where family and school come together.
A place where learning matters.
A place preparing students for a bright future.
Whether going to college
or into the workforce.
Troup County Schools,
preparing
students
for success
today.
Thank you for tuning in today. You are watching Spotlight on Education, and I'm your host, Tina Duckett, with the Troup County School System. Today, you will have an opportunity to learn about our wonderful students, staff, programs, activities, and different events that are taking place in the Troup County School System. This is a great forum for you to learn more about our schools. Joining me in the studio today is Ann Cook, and she is the principal at Gardner Newman Middle School. Thank you for joining me today, Miss Ann.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay. Well, we have regular viewers, those who watch us on a routine basis, and we are so delighted to have them. But we also have new viewers, and they want to learn more about our school system. So before we do that, I'd just like for them to get to know you as the principal at Gardner Newman Middle School. Would you share a little bit about your background in education?
I'll be glad to. I'm originally from West Point, Georgia, and lived in West Point and worked as a teacher in Berta Weathersby, Mountville Elementary School, and other schools in the area. At one point, my family moved to Macon, Georgia, where I was a teacher there. We moved to Mississippi, and I taught in Mississippi for a year, and then back to LaGrange, where I became an administrator here in LaGrange. I taught for 17 years total, and I was the principal at Ethelkite Magnet School for approximately 15 years. And this is my second year as principal of Gardner Newman Middle School.
Well, good, good. And that's an experience for you, just being the principal and sole leader of a middle school, because Ethelkite, what grade was that?
Ethelkite has students in pre-kindergarten through 5th grade, and of course Gardner Newman has 6th through 8th grade. And I've taught every grade from kindergarten through 8th grade in every subject.
Good, good. Well, tell us a little bit about the faculty and staff at Gardner Newman. Who helps to provide support and instruction?
We have a wonderful staff at Gardner Newman Middle School of dedicated and caring teachers. We have a staff of 105 people total. And we have about 1,200 students. So we have a lot of support staff and a lot of teachers to help us with the students, and everyone does their best to try to ensure a good education and a safe environment for our kids.
And it's important as a team to move in the same direction. And so would you tell us what direction your school is moving by way of its mission?
Yes, I'll be glad to. In fact, I'll read the mission statement of Gardner Newman Middle School. The mission of our school is to meet student needs by providing quality educational and personal growth opportunities, ensuring success in our ever-changing world. And that mission was developed by a team of teachers, parents, and students.
Okay, and simply put, what does it mean?
It means we want our students to grow up to be productive citizens, and that's what we're striving for.
Okay, so tell us about some of the goals that you've established as a school.
Well, the goal that we're working the hardest, we're working hard on all of our goals, but the goal that we've really established as our #1 goal this year is to improve our math scores. We are hoping to increase math scores by providing extra learning time for students and also scaffolding classes for struggling students, while at the same time providing a rigorous math program for our higher achieving students.
Okay, and how did you come up with these goals?
The teachers on the leadership team, as well as all of the teachers, and our dynamic teams, which are a group of teachers, parents, and students, developed the goals by looking at our data over time to see where we might need to really shore up our instruction. And the math teachers stepped up and said, look, let's have the students that are struggling in math to be in our homeroom so that we can have them for a longer period of time during the day. So that's where we provide the extra tutoring time in the morning for our math students, and our other students have other teachers and go to clubs and so forth during that time. We also have goals to improve student behavior, which is a goal that every middle school has. And we've been working with positive behavior intervention support, which is a program that we're learning more about as we're learning ways to intervene early and help students to make good decisions.
Isn't that a statewide initiative?
It
from
is. It's a
Georgia
statewide
DOE?
and possibly a federal initiative.
Okay. Can you tell us just a little bit about it briefly?
Well, the way the students know about it is we have what we call our PBS parties or celebrations for students who behave well, and we do those celebrations every 4.5 weeks to give students a reward for their good behavior. But it also really involves making sure that the students understand how to make better decisions. And we do that by creating behavior plans for our students that need a little extra support. Also allowing the students to see the counselor throughout the days and the weeks to give them support on better decision-making skills. We also have a graduation coach who works with our students who are struggling and our students who just need a little bit more support through a graduation coach to make sure that they're on track to go to 9th grade to the high school.
And so it sounds like it's a program that addresses academic needs as well as the character-based education and behavior support.
That is correct.
Okay.
And as I said, it's an ongoing program that we're learning more about, as are all the schools in Troup County, particularly at the middle and high school levels.
Okay. So now you mentioned a couple of goals, and we know that academic achievement and progress is always a goal with our school system. So tell me, are you achieving these goals and what successes you've realized thus far?
Okay, I'll be glad to tell you some of our successes. We have many. Our writing scores are among the best in the county and above state average as well. In fact, our students increased by 13 percentage points from 2009 to 2013.
Great, congratulations.
Thank you. Our reading and language arts scores, we had 50% students to meet and exceed in all grades. In science, 43% of our 7th graders exceeded the science scores on the CRCT, and in social studies, 50% of 7th graders exceeded. So our scores are looking good, and we want to always improve.
And these are standardized test scores?
Right, for the CRCT, which is the Criterion Reference Competency Test that the students will be taking in April.
Okay, and it's administered in our county in April of every year, is that correct?
That's right.
Okay. All right, so what can parents do to support achievement, specifically at Gardner Newman?
Well, the best way that parents can support the school and support their students is to be on the same page as the teachers in the school, and that is to give support to the school as well as their students. Before testing, there are some test-taking tips that they can use to improve their students' abilities to do well on the test. And we ask parents to make sure that their students get a good night's rest, have a good breakfast, and then to make sure there's no drama at home before or during the days of the testing, and then give their students a hug before they go out the door.
And reassure them.
Lots of reassurance.
Yes, yes, because I know some children, a test is just another day at school, but for some they suffer from anxiety. And does your school do any type of activity to help alleviate some of that anxiety? We
do. We talk to the students about testing, but not that much, because we want them to just be good students all around all the time.
Of course.
But we do usually a CRCT blitz, which is simply where the teachers work together and plan some really exciting lessons to try to review the information that the students will need before the test. And then we do a CRCT pep rally to try to get the kids pepped up about the test and just help them have a healthy mindset before the day of the test.
And are the children receptive to those type of rallies and the blitz that you mentioned?
I think they like it. With the blitz, for example, sometimes the students go to different teachers. So a teacher that might teach them one area of language arts, they may go to a different teacher for that subject on a different day, just to change it up a little bit and give them some change of ideas from different adults, different teachers in our building. So they like that, and they always like a pep rally. That's
Of course.
middle school and high school always want pep rallies. So we try to bring in some things that might get the students enthusiastic about the upcoming test.
Okay, and have you done that thus far this year?
No, we'll have the pep rally usually the Monday before the test, which will
Okay.
begin on a Tuesday.
Okay, and I know we'll talk about that a little bit more. Now, we're looking at different factors that maybe contribute to success, and I know that a strong partnership base is essential. Not only the internal team of teachers and educators and faculty and staff of the school system, but then you have your parents, students putting forth the effort, but you also have partners. So talk to us about partnership involvement and who some of your partners are.
We have a lot of business partners at Gardner Newman Middle School, and a focus this year has been to try to build the funding for technology. We really would like to have more technology at Gardner Newman. We've had a lot of donations, and we really appreciate support from the many business partners, including Dr. Childress, a dentist in town, Cisco's, Dr. Turton and his family, LaGrange Toyota, Diverse Power. They have Bradfield Construction, and our PTO have all contributed money toward technology. But we have other business partners too, so I'd like to name them.
Okay.
Aside from those that I just named, we also have ExxonMobil, Heritage Construction, the First United Methodist Church, Dr. Karen Jackson, Knight and Hale Builders, LaGrange Mall, Las Napoles, the Lee's Crossing Apartments, PNC Bank, Walmart, and Shoal Creek Baptist Church. So we have a lot of support, and we appreciate it.
Good, and they all contribute in different ways, and sometimes it's financially, it could be materials, it could be time and support in the way of mentors and tutors. And,
That's right.
And what other ways do your partners contribute to the success of your school?
They contribute in lots of ways. For example, our volunteers and our partners in education, our PTO, they help us with funding, as I mentioned. They help us with parties. PTO helps us with the dances that we provide for our students. They also support the staff and help with the climate of the school by providing snacks and goodies. And volunteers help us by, for example, in our recent oratorical competition, we had some wonderful volunteers to come to be the judges in the oratorical. Other ways that they help us are through providing pencils, for example, for CRCT, or being proctors for testing, and those kinds of ways that often it's hard to have enough people to do the many things that we need to do, and those are ways that they provide.
Okay, and the partners are so essential. They're vital to the success of our schools, and we appreciate them for giving of their time, talents, and resources in various ways. And we also know that they contribute to our DonorsChoose.org projects, and I know that Gardner Newman has been a recipient of some of those projects being funded through citizens just going on to that website and funding teacher projects. So that's
so true. The Donors Choose program is a wonderful way to support schools. One of our teachers, Ms. Hedrick, requested some literature that supported her social studies program. She asked for literature and books through Donors Choose, and many parents contributed to that, as well as our PTO, which funded a good portion of that. So that's one example. We've also received some technology through some contributions from Donors Choose. So our audience can go to Donors Choose to find out more information in which schools, including Gardner Newman Middle School, that might have a need.
Yes.
It's a great way to provide and support the school.
It is, and then you're not having to take on the load by yourself, but others across the country and maybe even world can go on to that website and make contributions.
That's right, and even grandparents and friends of our students can contribute that way. So schools are expensive to run, and as everybody knows, the budget is tight. So that's one really wonderful way that people can chip in and help.
And that's all partnership.
That's right.
Good.
It helps us with our technology too. As I said, that's one of our areas, one of our initiatives that we're trying to increase the technology in our schools. And so Donors Choose initiatives often are technology oriented.
And why do you think technology, the obvious answer is there, but for Gardner Newman Middle School, why is technology so important?
Our students really understand technology. Almost all students have a cell phone or the beats in the ears with
some type of digital
music,
device.
digital
Yes.
devices.
Yes.
And while they do enjoy reading books, many students also enjoy reading Kindles or other kind of electronic devices. So technology is essential because that's where our world is now, and we want to stay on the cutting edge.
Right, and we have the digital natives who are born into technology. That's all they know,
Right.
Versus the digital immigrants.
Like me.
we're learning the different digital devices out there and how to communicate when it comes to them as second nature.
That's right. And
Yeah.
in our schools, we have Promethean boards and other kinds of projector devices where the students can actually interact with the instruction. So, for example, the teacher can do something on the whiteboard, and then the students can use their technology to vote on something or give some kind of response technologically, and they like that.
Yes,
so
they
it's a
like
good way
being
to build.
involved.
They like being involved.
Yes, yes. And speaking of student engagement, let's talk a little bit about your transition program.
Okay.
And how do you prepare students from elementary school, those rising fifth graders, to come into middle school? It is a different world.
It is a different world, but it's very similar to elementary school in many ways. And
Okay.
sometimes I think our students don't realize that their buddies will be coming over from the elementary schools. Because we have a fairly small community, many of the teachers are people that the students already know. And so what we do in Troup County School System is we provide an orientation at the middle school level so that fifth graders can come to the middle schools as a group from the many different schools that feed into Gardner Newman Middle School. So, for example, I believe the date is May 5th is when our fifth graders from our feeder schools will come to Gardner Newman Middle School. And they'll come into our school and get a sense of the setting of the school, but they'll also go to the different classes on 6th grade hall where they'll meet the teacher. The teacher will explain his or her expectations of the students and the kinds of things that the students will be learning when they come to 6th grade next year. The students walk through the halls, much as they do every day at Gardner Newman Middle School, and they just get a better feel for the school in general and a feel for the teachers so that it's not such a scary place when they come next year.
Right, and I would think that would be the biggest benefit of offering this opportunity to those rising sixth graders.
I agree, and we also do a program for the parents of our rising sixth graders so that we can help them to become acclimated to our school and feel more comfortable with their students coming to middle school. In addition to that, we have a program with the high school, LaGrange High School, in which our 8th graders go to the 9th grade or go to LaGrange High School to get oriented to the high school environment. So that will be coming up. They've actually gone there already, and then we will have other ways in which there's an on to high school celebration, for example, in which Dr. Penny Johnson from LaGrange High School and some of the other administrators and counselors from the high school will come to us.
Okay.
And we'll have a program with our 8th graders so that they can listen to the administration and the teachers and the students. They bring students over from LaGrange High School so that our 8th graders can have an opportunity to ask questions of the high school students and administration and teachers.
So that's great. You're acclimating your rising 9th graders who are Gardner Newman 8th graders currently to get familiar with the high school experience.
Right.
And so they go over and they tour the campus. Is that what they do?
They do.
Okay. And just have an opportunity to engage with some of the other faculty?
That's right.
Okay.
And then again, those folks from LaGrange High School come to us. So it's back and forth. And we do the same thing from 5th to 6th.
Okay, good deal. Now, what other ways do you engage students? We talked a little bit about the transition program, but in what other ways and what other clubs or offerings are available for students to continue to develop?
We have a lot of clubs and activities at the middle school level. At Gardner Newman Middle School, we have many things for students to become involved in, including drama and chorus, robotics team, art club, band, the step team, and then there are a lot of athletic opportunities such as volleyball, which is going on right now, and track, and in addition to that, of course, football and basketball and other opportunities like that. So we really want students to become involved at the middle school level. We want them to become well-rounded citizens. So the best way to do that is to not only be involved academically, but also in clubs and athletics.
Okay, and is there certain criteria to participate in clubs?
There are. In the handbook that the students will get at the beginning of the year, there will be a definition of the club and who the sponsor is and how you join. But there's really something for everybody at Gardner Newman Middle School, and we encourage students and we encourage their parents to become involved, because that's the best way that you'll feel comfortable with the school.
Right, right, and it creates school bonding, and they feel like they belong because they're involved.
That's right, that's
Yes,
right.
and that makes for a well-rounded student as well.
It does.
So now, you mentioned some of those clubs. Are any of those new to Gardner Newman this year?
FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, is one of our new clubs. And then we also have some other things that are not necessarily club-oriented. Some are and some aren't. But for example, science is an area we're really trying to help students to feel comfortable with. So our 7th grade is doing a biomes construction project, and we'll hold a biome walkabout on Friday, March 28th. And in the walkabout, the students worked together to create a biome of their choice, such as the tropical rainforest, savanna, and prairie grasslands. And our 6th graders, the 6th grade science club, is doing several labs that the kids are involved in, such as bubblegum blowout, creating geysers, saltwater density straws. And in the spring, they're going to be making a pizza using solar ovens.
Okay, solar ovens.
That's right. And they're going to have a science fair, I believe it's May 6th,
Okay.
so they can show what they're doing.
And this is a science club, or is this a classroom that is just taking on an interactive approach to learning?
Well, Ms. Stewart's 6th grade science club is really spearheading that effort.
Oh, good, good. Well, now, I know that you also offer drama and chorus as club opportunities for students. And we have a few students who are with us today who will close out the show with a vocal performance from a spring concert or a spring show that's coming up. Tell us a little bit about that, and could you introduce those students?
I'll be glad to. The show is called,
All Shook Up.
All Shook Up, All
Yes.
Shook Up.
Yes.
And this is our drama and chorus presentation that will be held on May 15th, 16th, and 17th. The lead is being played by 3 different students, one for each night. So
Okay.
Kitty Key, an 8th grader, Madeline Battle, a 7th grader, and Avery Bockerich, an 8th grader. Those will be the students that will be the lead in the program. But we encourage everybody to come out, because I can guarantee it's going to be a great show.
Okay, and we'll go back to the show here shortly, but are there other upcoming events that you'd like to share with our audience?
I would love to. I'd also like to share some of the honors and recognitions our students have received.
Okay.
For example, in the chorus, 4 girls at Gardner Newman made the All-State Honors Chorus, and our robotics team went to state this year.
And that is a new club for the school, isn't it, this year?
Robotics, I believe we had robotics last year. That may have been the first year, but the kids love it, and they want to get
Good.
into the robotics team. It is a lot of fun.
Good.
5 band students were selected by audition to be in the GMEA, that's the Georgia Music Education Association All District Band in Columbus. and 13 students are participating in the GMEA Solo and Ensemble Festival in Columbus next month.
Okay.
We also have, I mentioned the STEP team. It's really cool to get on the STEP team. Those students enjoy that very much, and they get to dance and make their own performances, so that's something that's worthwhile.
Okay, and again, were there other dates that you'd like to share and before we go and take a look at those students who perform for us?
Sure. I know parents will be interested to know that the CRCT begins on April 22nd. The 8th grade dance is on May 2nd. I mentioned that 5th graders will visit Gardner Newman Middle School for the 6th grade orientation on May 5th. Then we have our field day coming up for 6th grade, May 12th, 7th grade, May 13th, and 8th grade, May 14th. Honors Day is May 16th, and the Athletic Honors Day is May 19th.
Okay. And Miss Ann Cook, principal at Gardner Newman Middle School, thank you for joining us. And we appreciate the students who are here with us today, and they will close out our show. And tell us that show's title again and those students.
All Shook Up.
Okay.
And the students are Madeline Battle, Avery Bockerich, and Kitty Key.
Okay, well, let's enjoy them now. Thank you for watching.
This year, we're doing a play called All Shook Up. It's inspired by and features the songs by Elvis Presley. The dates are Thursday, May 15th,
Friday, May 16th, and Saturday, May 17th at 7 o'clock p.m. The doors will open at 6:30. The show will be at LaGrange High Auditorium. Tickets are $7. Children 5 and under are free.
I'm the lead on Thursday, 7th grader Madeline Battle.
I'm the lead on Friday, 8th grader Avery Bockerich. And I'm the lead on Saturday, 8th grader Kitty Key. And we all play the role of Natalie. Avery, why don't you give us a little demonstration about who Natalie really is?
Sure will, Kitty. Hi, I'm Natalie, and I live in a boring old town in the middle of nowhere. And when my father passed on, he passed down the job of being the town's mechanic. And as exciting as that can be, I just want something different. Well, when I thought things would never change, they did.
A roving roustabout came into town.
His name is Chad.
Oh, Chad. Well, anyways, when I saw him, everything was different. The only problem is that he's not into me. So I figured out a way to win him over.
You'll have to come and see the show to find out what happens. You don't want to miss it.
Hey, why don't we sing one of our songs for the performance?
Okay, sure.
Wise men say only fools are rushing, but I can't help falling in love with you.
Shall I stay? Would it be a sin if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. Take my hand,
take my whole life too,
for I can't help
falling in love with you.
Troup County Schools. A place where you can learn and grow.
A place where teachers care.
A place where family and school come together.
A place where learning matters.
A place preparing students for a bright future.
Whether going to college
or into the workforce.
Troup County Schools.
Preparing
Students
for success.
today.